Hey guys, here I am again with part two of episode 33. Got a bit um you know, got a bit long in the first part, and plus he had to go do some stuff and go to the store and everything. I haven't seen him pop up. There he is. Before I get him on, again, like to say, rest in peace to Rich of Flesh Grind. My condolences got to his friends and family, and to all of his former bandmates, and that's really about it. Just been a bit distracted as of late, trying to get work stuff done and whatnot. T-shirt for this evening. Skull fucked from here in the UK. They're from Stevenage, around that way. Well, yeah, I'll get Fred in a minute. Just yeah, I was just waiting to see if someone was going to message me. I'll get Fred in now. Hello.
Let's see if this.
There he is.
How's it going?
I'm good, man. Welcome to part two.
Yeah.
Again, still haven't done the whole second part to a chat, so you're the first one.
Awesome.
So yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, everyone, this is Fred. You all know who Fred is, drummer for Dismember, and obviously was in Carnage, who we talked about in the first part. Now, but for this part, we're going to be talking more Dismember and other bands you may have been in beforehand. And I'm going to re-show the vinyl like an ever-flowing stream. You said this took 12 days to record?
Mm-hmm. Recorded and mixed in 12 days.
That's impressive. And obviously it's the back again, all covered in blood. And you ruined your leather bloody trousers.
Yep.
What was everyone's fascination with leather trousers back then? I mean,
I don't know. I guess it was like it looked a little bit more. Stood out a little bit from all the bands who were wearing just jeans and a t-shirt.
T-shirts. Or when I look at the guys from Sepultura, it would be like combat trousers or combat shorts or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But you guys, it was leather pants or leather trousers, and
bullet belts and
belts and stuff like that. That was mainly from Dave, who wore like bullet belts and leather bracelet,
yeah,
and all that. He wore all that stuff. And I said a song name by accident in the first chat. I said Reborn in Blasphemy, but that was later on. It was the video I was meant to say was Soon to Be Dead.
Oh yeah.
Where it's surrounded by like a fire and stuff like that. I was just like, okay, what the hell's going on here? And where was that filmed?
It was actually filmed in Stockholm it was in the winter time too. So
oh man.
Yeah. A lot of, they built a fire that the guys were jumping through the fire and stuff like that. It was like we had a good team like that. Were doing a lot of creative ideas for us and with us, who they did the Pieces cover and the Soon to Be Dead video and so on, and they were really these three persons who were like into art a lot and, liked the music. So it was a lot of fun. We did a lot of experimenting when it came to like special effects and stuff like that. So
Wow, it is a good video. I
yeah,
like
I mean,
it's death metal and it's out in the woods.
yeah, exactly.
And yeah, you said that was in the winter. Was that winter 91?
Yeah, yeah.
Winter 91. Yeah. What? I'm trying to think like January or December. I don't know when this came out now.
It was probably, I mean, the album was out in the summer, but we did this later, and I think I'm not really sure. I think we might have recorded the video in January or February, maybe, of 92 or December 91. I'm not really sure.
I was born in November of 91, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how old I am.
just after that, then I guess.
Probably either way before or after. Who knows? I don't know. I can't really find dates for music videos.
No, I know.
But again, yeah, I got this from UKEM Records. They were doing a repress of it. So, I know I've already shown this, but there you are again. The only two that don't have their shirts off is obviously the vocalist, and well, there's two of you actually. Two that ain't got.
Yeah, David and Matti weren't that keen on throwing pig's blood on themselves.
Only you and the other two guys, obviously.
Yeah.
Because again, well, that's even a much better picture because you can see the fake blood and obviously the very rebellious upside down cross. Because what other way to piss off your parents by wearing an upside down cross?
Yeah, exactly. Piss anyone off that was older than yourself.
They'll just be like, yeah, let's just wear upside down crosses and worship the devil and blast heavy music. And you're wearing Motorhead, by the way, and that's a great shirt. It was Black Sabbath last time. Now it's Motorhead.
Yep.
Just more British bands. Just more British bands to show off. And obviously, I got a new I got a stand for my laptop, so it's up a bit slightly because last time I was looking down like that, and I'm just looking at much better now, so I don't have a hunchback. And again, show the Swedish death metal, Bert, because you are mentioned a lot in this as well. The start of the Swedish metal scene, punk scene, and all that. Because you mentioned Bathory and there's Candlemass as well. Were you a big fan of them?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of friends who are way bigger Candlemass fans than me. I mean, I love them, but I wasn't really into the doom stuff. I appreciated them more later on. I feel like today I like them more than I did then.
Yeah,
and I don't know why, but sometimes it's just like it's hard to explain when you get into certain bands or so.
Yeah, it's not always your cup of tea at first because I think the sort of stuff you were listening to was more fast and heavy.
Yeah,
like
and most people I knew and hung out with were into Candlemass, and I was just like, oh, you can't like everything.
Can't like everything
then and there,
No, but as soon as I heard Candlemass, I was like, wow, I like this band.
Yeah, no, they're great. But I didn't, I guess it's also because I, back then you weren't, I didn't have that much money. I was working hard for the money I had, and what I earned, I put back into making music and, just surviving and partying. So, yeah, I bought records, but I had to really choose which ones to buy. So I guess when I got a little bit older, I revisited some of the bands that I didn't really prioritize when I was like 17, 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, when you get older, that changes, obviously.
Yeah.
Because there were some bands I used to listen to when I got into metal, I don't really listen to very much now because my taste changed.
Yeah, exactly.
And Well, speaking of when in the first one we picked speaking about Dismember forming in '88 and splitting up in '89, I managed to find in the book the demos
Hmm.
right there. Thought I was going to be hard because the pages are white.
Yeah.
Luckily they were there, and I did see a picture of pieces, but I actually got the EP because speaking of this, I think this was very controversial back in the day because of this particular cover. It's
Yeah.
all your hair tied together, and like don't know if you actually tied all your hair together or that's just how it was
Oh
drawn.
yeah. Oh yeah. There weren't much, Photoshop back in 91 wasn't that you would it wasn't that, you know, accurate. Yeah. I mean, that was like we were actually laying on the floor. We stuck our heads through a black sheet, and then our special effects guy, he had made like prosthetic throats that he glued onto our own throats, and then they took our hair and hairsprayed it and tied it into a knot, and then they took a pic from the ceiling on a really tall ladder. So that's how it was done. So there's not a lot of editing in that pic. Maybe they took out some, made it a little bit more black than the sheet was, but apart from that, everything is real. Nothing is fake.
Yeah, that's
Except for the cut off throats. But you know what I mean? It's like that's real special effects movie stuff back in the early 90s.
definitely, yeah, definitely. Well, I prefer practical effects as opposed to CGI because CGI just looks fake as hell.
Yeah.
Whereas this actually looks real, and I can see why a lot of people, especially when you started playing the UK, because I know someone who was at the show that you guys were late to because you were sorting this shit out
Mm-hmm.
with the courts and everything, and then
Oh yeah.
you started
Yeah.
it. Did that happen as soon as you got off the plane or something? What
No, no, we that
if
court
you don't
case
mind
was
talking
set.
about it?
Yeah, I mean, we were in the court for like 2 days, so whatever.
Oh bloody hell.
Yeah, and we also, I think we were in England for I think we were in London 2 days before the court because we had to talk to our barrister. We had to talk through the case and our testimonies and everything and what we could wear in court. We had to have several meetings about that. That was it was not just waltz into court and out of court. That was like serious stuff. So we had that showcase gig after the second day in court, but the thing was that we also had to go get backlight. We had to go by car from court back to where we were staying to change clothes, going back to the venue. So the London traffic sucks at all times. So
yeah. I have been to London very many times. I don't drive, but I have seen the streets packed and congested. It's horrible.
It's horrible driving there. So.
But of course, I can see why, because of the made up necks and everything, and I want to say because of that as well.
Yeah.
But if no one saw that properly, that's how you saw what you saw in a lot of death metal albums or EPs, or just artwork in general. Because there you go. But on a lighter note, you got them on stage here.
Oh yeah.
Not sure where that was taken.
I don't know either. I'm not sure.
A long time ago. So
yeah.
Obviously, you got the logo on the backdrop, which is always amazing. So people know who you are. It's like, who's Dismember? Those guys.
Yeah.
Crazy Swedish metalheads. And this wasn't recorded at Sunlight, was it? Was it?
Yeah, it was.
It was. But obviously, I was looking on it as well because there's some bonus tracks from live in Stockholm recorded by P3 Live 1993.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Yeah, I don't know about that issue.
I can't remember where I got it from though.
Which label is that? Does it say?
It says Regain Records. That one.
Oh yeah, okay. So that was a reissue.
There's a reissue, so it's got
from the early 2000s, I guess.
Must be. And I looked on here, and the last track is what was on the Carnage album, Torn Apart.
Yeah.
And it's obviously they're much different from each other. And I don't know which one I prefer, that one or this one. But they're both great.
Like we talked about last time, after the Carnage album, we learned our lesson. We were like, well, we're going to need some bonus tracks, for whatever we do. So what can we record again? Let's do an old Carnage track, or let's do
And it's on this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus. And don't worry, people, they're not actually dead. They're just, it's all blacked out, obviously. Because when I looked at it, I thought, wow, that must have really disgusted a lot of people back then.
Yeah, some people were disgusted, but I think most people thought it was cool that we could pull off it's pretty professionally done. So I think we got a lot of praise for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll definitely be listening to it again, obviously, because it's obviously Dismember is one of my favourite bands. This is one of my favourite releases, as well as the next one I'm going to be showing as well. I don't have all your albums, I have to say now, so bear with me. I had to write them all down just to remember what the hell I got.
Yeah.
And write down the albums I don't have, so then we can talk about those as well. So I got to have notes, otherwise I'm just going to forget everything. And obviously now we get on to 1993.
Mm-hmm.
With, I have to take it out of the case because it's just going to reflect with this one.
Oh yeah,
Decent and Obscene. Yeah, I'm not even going to ask whose body that is.
That's Richard's body. Yeah, the same kind of technique with the carved out torso there. So they glued a fake torso on top of his torso.
And of course,
pretty well done.
And
the Dismember logo, that's actually the real a friend of our special effects crew there. He was a blacksmith, so he actually made 4 Dismember belt buckles. They're really heavy, like they're heavy, real heavy metal.
Yeah, real heavy metal for a heavy band.
Yep.
And because like I said, the first song I heard from this was Dreaming in Red, which is the last track on the album.
Mm-hmm.
And there you are again, but in a completely different setting.
Yeah.
It's blue with chains and stuff.
Yeah, same. That's also from the video shoot of
Dreaming in Red.
Yeah, we had the same kind of concept for the video. It's not the same photo op, but it was the same kind of take on it. Yeah, same crew who did the Soon to Be Dead video did the Dreaming in Red video too.
Yeah, and when I first saw it, you just hear this opening bass line, which is pretty unforgettable because as soon as you hear it, you know what song it is. You know that that was just like, okay, what sort of song am I listening to? And all of a sudden I hear a dun dun, and it's like, oh, okay. Then I get a solo, and then obviously in the video you see someone with a sword chopping someone's head off and stuff like that. And then, well, obviously your vocalist Matthew was hanging from chains in the video.
Yeah, was a bit those videos. I mean, we weren't just like standing up, just upright. Yeah, we put some effort into those videos, which I think it's fun that we did that.
No, it shows that how much effort was done in the video and also on the album as well. A lot of time and patience, I want to say, went into this album as well as the 8 Pieces EP, which I forgot to ask how long that took to record.
But that was just that was very short. I think it was like two nights, not even 2 full days, but 2 nights in the studio, I think.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, that was
and, I just found this picture of you.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear. He's only Fred is real.
Yeah, exactly.
got Richard.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're all in here. Robert is in here. Can't see him because of the red.
Yeah.
Well done, lighting guys. As David. There's the one who wears all the bullet belts and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I had a picture of him and Mateo as well. There he is.
Yeah. There he is.
You know, just growling away.
Yeah.
One of the others playing instruments. They thought, so Fred, what have you on the cross? All right.
Exactly. No, that was my idea, of course. I mean, I thought it was a good pick, though. And, you know, being on that cross for a whole day, that was pretty painful.
Yep. And, of course, this CD came out on Nuclear Blast Records. Did the first one? I think the first one did it?
They all did.
They all did. But, yeah, I just got the reissue that says black on black because of the vinyl.
Yeah, that's actually a bootleg. That's not an authorized.
Okay. Well,
that's an English bootleg. Yeah, that's not authorized by us. So.
Well, it was re-released by UK EM Records, and they are proper like website. But when I got that, it said black on black. But yeah. But anyway, how long did this take to record?
Like 3 weeks, I think.
3 weeks
with mix, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's the first one I bought, and the first one I properly listened to. Then I heard Like an Ever-Flowing Stream.
Okay.
And I went backwards a bit.
Yeah.
Because of all the bands I've heard, like from this, obviously not from everywhere. Like I always got my favourites. In terms of the Swedish bands, you are one of my favourites. And with Entombed, Engrave, and Unleashed, and Wombbath, General Surgery. There's Nasm, but they were a band before Nasm, which I completely forgot the bloody name of. You got too many bands at the gates.
I know.
At the gates from Gothenburg.
Yeah.
In Flames, when they were more melodic death metal, and Dot Tranquility, like we released a new album last year, and it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Candlemass, obviously. Yeah, there's too many bands.
I know.
Yeah, there's just too many bands, but obviously we're talking about your band. Sorry, almost choked. But yeah, no one's got this yet. I will be surprised that no one's picked this up yet, because it's fantastic. Pieces as well, and Like an Ever-Flowing Stream, which is also a Dan Seagrave painting.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like working with him? I don't know if you ever met him in person or not.
I have not so far. I mean, we still cooperate with him because, you know, we use his artwork for our shirts and so on. So, you know, we're still cooperating with him because, I mean, he's an outstanding artist, and he's a very nice guy too. Very, very humble and talented, and a very, you know, nice guy to talk to. So happy to have been working with him and been able to use his artwork through the decades.
Yeah, no, because he was like the go-to artist for death metal bands, because Morbid Angels used him. Who else has used it? Morbid Angel,
Entombed,
Resurrection from Florida. You guys, obviously.
Malevolent Creation, Suffocation, Skeletal Remains.
Yep, Skeletal Remains. I got a poster.
Pestilence.
Yep, Pestilence. Yeah, he's done Testimony of the Ancients. Yeah,
and
so on. Not the first no, the second album, not the first album.
Exactly. Yeah.
He didn't do Consuming Impulse. I know he didn't.
No.
That was someone else completely.
Yeah, that was a different type of art.
well, after that, it was him pretty much from there on. But like I said, yeah, again, the number one artist most death metal bands would go with. Well, Cannibal Corpse went with Vincent Locke a lot.
Mhm.
They stuck with him basically. But I think out of all the artwork I've seen, I think Dan's is one of the best because he just puts so much time and patience into his work, and you can see the detail on it.
Yeah.
Definitely. With again, get this one because this is that one because that's just it's like a waterfall and it turns into lava and there's two dragons and stuff, like
Yeah.
something out of a horror story or something.
Yeah. It's such he has such great depth in his art. It's it's very like it feels very three-dimensional.
But yeah, and it fits the music as well. What he's writing, what bands he's writing for, it seems to fit with their music.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the fun part with him. Like sometimes, you know, we've had like ideas and everything, and you get a picture in your mind and what you're thinking, and then he does it completely different. But sometimes he doesn't incorporate the ideas you bring to him because he has a better idea, or sometimes he incorporates it but he does it in a way that you didn't expect him to, and it's so much better than you could even come up with yourself. So I mean, he just have he has a brilliant mind.
Yeah, it would be great if because obviously if you asked him to do artwork, he'll probably want you to pay whatever amount of money he's asking you for, because I don't know how much he charges.
I mean, we last time we worked with him for something that was for the God That Never Was, and that's like that was in 2006, so that's a long time ago, and I don't really remember what we paid back then. But you know, it's I mean, it's not like he's overcharging, I don't think. I mean, he puts a lot of work into his into the cover, so I think he's more than reasonable with his prices.
Yeah, and whatever it is, they're like all bands out there will be like, I really want a Dan Seagrave piece of art for my album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he says whatever amount, it's like we'll pay that. It's like cool,
Yeah.
get on with it.
Yeah.
And then I'm just looking at the Metal Archives page because he's on that. He's done Benediction, Transcend the Rubicon. He did that.
Yeah.
He did Dreadlord for Body Farm.
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously, Dot Recollections for Carnage. Who else? Decrepit Birth. He's done that. He's done them from Decrepit Birth.
Oh yeah.
Who else? Devourment, Disgrace, a different Disgrace. I'm guessing, not the finished one. You guys, obviously, like an info stream, where iron crosses grow, and the God That Never Was. Edge of Sanity, done it from Edge of Sanity, and Tomb.
Oh yeah, of course.
Evocation, Gore Guts, Hypocrisy, Lawnmower Death, a big band within in the UK. Mevlik Creation, we just said that. He's been doing it for Memoriam ever since they started releasing albums. And Memoriam's great. Carl's other band, well, full-time band now since Boltford split up. Morbid Angel, Nocturnus, Pestilence. Okay, his list is just going on. Resurrection, Skeletal Remains, yeah, obviously. Suffocation. I'm gonna shut up in a minute. Warbringer, Vader. Should have said Vader first. Vader, Warbringer. Just a lot, really.
Yeah.
He was a very busy man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Busy man. He needs to keep busy.
Yeah, yeah, he does. I mean, he's very active and
he's very active man.
Productive. Yeah,
very active man. And again, I think because there's a band from here called Separation, they're mates of mine, and I don't know if you've listened to them yet. I'll send you a link. It Bristol-based death and thrash metal band.
Cool.
My mate's band Separation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you a link later on.
Cool.
And I think they wanted to get some artwork by Dan Seagrave, but I think he went with someone else in the end. But
Okay.
either way, doesn't matter who you get it done by as long as it looks, as long as it pops out.
Yeah.
And his
Exactly.
stuff always pops out.
It does. I mean, it's important to have good artwork.
Always. And let's get on with the other releases, which I've all written down here, and written 3 bands down that I would say were influences by. I'll start with them first. I don't know if a lot of death metal bands mix hardcore and stuff in their music nowadays, and some like crossover D beat stuff. Black Breath do a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
They got the HM2 sound.
Yeah. Great band. I love them. Nice. I met them too, and great band, great people.
I never seen them live. The bassist passed away 2019 I think. The bassist passed away, and they've been on hold ever since because they don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Nails is another one that's got that HM2 sound.
Mm-hmm.
Very much. As soon as you put their music on, you can just hear it straight away.
Yeah.
But a very grindcore power violins. They got that bit of death metal in them, I think, a little bit. Because I saw them only once here in Bristol, and I was just like, wow, these guys are just nuts.
Yeah.
And the other one is Gatecreeper.
Yeah. They're I know those guys.
Yeah, not
They're
very
really nice.
overly
Nice
HM2.
Yeah.
But it's there. It's just not turn up. It's just not. When it's the fast bits, you can hear the fast bits. Because when you've done fast bits, you might not always hear it all the time because of how the pedals the volume on the pedals are turned up. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I got some sort of ear to that. But yeah, Gatecreeper, it is there, but they've managed to clean it up somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
In a way,
I haven't really analyzed it. I just like them, as
like the
people
music.
and as a band.
Yeah, and they're a great band. I need to see them live. Hopefully they'll be playing in Bristol in July if things.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, they're a great live band. So
Yeah,
I've seen them plenty of times.
That's brilliant. Because I'm guessing because you live in America now, you must have seen them a bunch of times then.
Well, it's a big country, but I've been on tour with them shortly, and I've been they've been coming over here. I worked at the club in Brooklyn. They play there, so it's
cool. That's good. Yeah, I need to see both Black Breath and Gatecreeper. Black Breath might have to wait a bit longer. Don't know if they're going to start again, but Gatecreeper definitely need to see Gatecreeper because we've got both their albums.
Yeah,
I love both albums. And now let's get on to the other albums. I'm going a bit quick here and need to calm down a little bit. Obviously, you got two releases in '95. There's Casket Garden, which was like a single EP. I had to remind myself it was an EP. And then obviously the album that it's on is Massive Killing Capacity. That came out in 1995, and I remember the only song I really heard from it was Casket Garden, which you played at Scandinavia Death Fest. I think that's like the most well-known one on the album.
Yeah, probably.
Because I can just hear Matty's vocals going in the Casket Garden.
Yeah, I mean it was a little bit heavier for us, but it was nice doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, it's, I don't want to say very death and roll because Entombed ended up doing that with Wolverine Blues, the whole death and roll genre. Don't know what
I mean maybe a little bit more in that direction, but I think that's the only album where we kind of did maybe some songs went a little bit in that direction, but not all the way, I would say.
And yeah, it's not because what I heard from I might have heard like little bits and pieces. I've been to house parties, and I'm pretty sure someone must have stuck at least another song from that album on, and I wouldn't know when it was from. Because having a good time at a party,
Yeah.
you should know you've had your fair share of parties.
Oh yeah, that's not the time to sit and scrutinize album covers.
No, so this album cover, it looks very Warhammer based.
Hmm.
Looking at it,
Yeah,
it was that the whole
yeah, that was
idea.
kind of that was the idea.
Are you Warhammer? Were you Warhammer fans?
Not me personally. Matti was a little bit into that kind of genre of those kind of, I don't know what to call it, even since I'm not
It's
really, I was never really into it. But
role playing.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And he talked to Necrolord, who did the cover. And they kind of had Matti has really good ideas when it comes to album covers, and he kind of was talking to him about that. So, but I think it turned out really cool. I mean, it looks brutal, and
Yeah, definitely.
I guess the lyrics tended to go more towards war for that album, and not as gory maybe as before.
Yeah, because I think a lot of death metal bands started getting sick of doing just gore related lyrics or horror movie related lyrics or fantasy based lyrics.
Yeah, we tried to like mix it up a little bit more.
Yeah, because Boltfur, going back to them, a lot of their lyrics were about war.
Yeah.
Mainly raw war stuff. Yeah. Even though Realm of Chaos was more based around, well, there's actually a game called Realm of Chaos by Warhammer. It doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly.
But it's around that time because they got asked to do that, and there's the cover, obviously.
Yeah.
And you guys did all the gore stuff, and because there's a song on the first album called "Skin Her Alive," which I was like, huh?
Yeah.
So Skin Her Alive, and Skin Father on Indecent and Obscene, which that's a great. Just how it starts off is just like first there's the guitars, and then you come in with your drums, and then it's meant. Yeah, even watching it live, because that was the song I filmed on the last day you guys played. Was Skin Father.
Mm.
Great. I'm gonna keep mentioning that set because it was amazing.
Okay.
Because it was. Because I saw you guys twice in 1 week.
Yeah.
One weekend. So, where was I going? Oh yeah, albums. Well, how long did that take? Massive killing capacity.
That one took way longer because that's not only us, but Thomas, who was our producer too. He was like, he was kind of telling us to like, you guys, we need to like try. I want to produce this album a little bit more than just you coming in and recording the tracks and all that. I want to hear the songs before we record. I want to have input. I want to have input in the songwriting a little bit and so on. So we actually did a production demo for the whole album before we even started recording the album. So and the arrangement of the songs we went over a little bit, and Thomas was very keen on stripping songs of unnecessary parts, because especially Indecent and Obscene, I mean, it has a lot of riffs in the songs and all that. And he was kind of like, well, you guys could have wrote like 3 more songs out of the riffs from that, some of the songs, So we were like, all right, we'll give it a try, and it was like, you need to be a little bit more on top of things and so on. So we kind of went a little bit back to basics and spent more time in the studio, but we also had there were a lot of issues with like intonation in guitars and basses and everything. So it was kind of like a long, dredged out recording that, I mean, we started recording in the summer of 1994, and I think we weren't done until, I don't think the album was done and mixed, because he had other recordings in between, our sessions. So I think it took us from June 94 until like December 94 until the album was done. And it wasn't that we were recording every week of those 6 months. It was more that we recorded for a week or two, and then he had another recording, and then we had to wait for a couple of weeks until we could go in and do the next part of the recording and so on. So it took a while.
Yeah, wow. Albums do tend to take a while to record and get out and whatever.
Yeah.
Long process.
I mean, yeah, and it's been so more and more, I feel like, from the mid 90s and on, people spend way more time on recording and thinking about it.
Definitely.
In the earlier days, I mean, you banged an album out in a week or two and that's it. No turning back. Let's release it and then we make a new album.
Yeah, definitely. And also because I was looking at the year it came out, and I typed Dismember interviews on YouTube. Then I saw, and I remember was like, oh yeah, they went on tour with Benediction, Hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
Crap, who else was on it? Meshuggah was on that too.
Amorphous.
Amorphous and Meshuggah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought, all right, Meshuggah just seems a bit of an odd mix to go with these sorts of bands, but because they're very different from you guys, Amorphous, Benediction, and Hypocrisy.
Yeah,
because you all stayed in the death metal scene. They were far out of the death metal scene, but Amorphous was kind of leaving the death metal scene and going into a bit more of a just like a progressive sort of metal stage at that point.
Yeah.
But what was it like having a band like Meshuggah on tour with you?
Great. We've known them since the late 80s, early 90s. And even though they played a different type of metal, really skillful musicians, really funny guys. They're from up north of Sweden, and we're from the south, so it's a little bit, it's a kind of a different way of how you are, I guess, when you grow up and all that. But they're insane. They're not just machines and like very innovative. They're also like, really funny people to tour with. So we've had a lot of fun with those guys.
Yeah, they're a great band live because I got to see them 2010 at Bloodstock.
It's kind of like back then, going on stage after them, it's kind of like,
what?
They're fucking so furious and they give everything. And, it's like, even I've done live sound for them in the past too. And even doing just sound, and I'm out there in the audience just trying to make them sound good, which is not that hard. Even I'm, as a sound person, I'm a bit exhausted after there.
Because also they got a lighting guy who always seems to hit the lights at the exact same time they're doing their guitars.
It's so intense.
I was just like, how is he doing this? But then when I was watching that footage, because the vocalist, musicians who are bald now used to have hair. Everyone just thinks they're bald already. But he had that sort of rat tail thing going on at the time.
Yeah.
I can't remember the vocalist's name. What's his name again?
Jens.
That's it. Yeah, he's a great vocalist. And always does that.
Great band, great people.
That was sugar face, us fans call it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them a bunch of times before. They played Bristol. First time around, I missed them. Second time around, me and my mate were just headbanging to them near the bar. And then we went down into the pit. And then we saw them in London in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Before 2017, we saw them in 2017. We saw them in Bristol. 2014, saw them in London at the Roundhouse, which is this big bloody venue. Don't know if you've ever been to it.
I've seen pictures.
It's massive, and they played there. They played Download Festival, which is just more mainstream sort of bands, but they do tend to get heavier bands. At the Gates has played there.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool, some of my favourite bands play here. I'll just go for that day. And Sugar was there on the Sunday of Download 2018 on the second stage, and just fantastic set from them always.
Yeah.
Were they always the first band on the tour playing live first? Were they the opening band, or did you all take it in turns?
I mean, that particular tour with Benediction and Amorphous, then it was like Meshuggah open, then it was Hypocrisy, then it was Dismember, then it was, I think, Benediction and Amorphous they switched. Yeah, they co-headlined. So,
okay.
but that was for that tour. I mean, after that, 2 years after that, Meshuggah kind of. I don't think they supported any smaller bands after that.
No.
They either headlined or they did, open up for bigger bands.
Yeah, because I was watching footage from Meshuggah again because obviously COVID hit and I couldn't meet up with mates. So I had to talk to my mate Chris on Messenger. Showed him footage of Meshuggah back in like 1994 playing a small venue.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. I was just like, okay, is this the same band I've seen? This is completely different. And obviously they weren't death metal, so I don't know how death metal audiences found them back in the day, but from what you just said, they seem to have had positive feedback, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never heard, everybody who've seen them live have come out and be like, damn. What? Yeah, what the fuck just hit
What the fuck is this? It's like, who is this band?
Yeah.
Meshuggah. Oh, where are they from? Where Hypocrisy and Dismember are from? Sweden? Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I just saw that, I thought, man, I wish I was old enough to see that. But obviously, I was only a little kid back then when that was going on. So, again, showing you how old I am.
Yeah.
I'm making you feel older, and I apologize.
That's fine. It's fine. I'm used to it.
I don't want you to go like, sorry, chat's over.
Nah. No. It's like I'm still young at heart in my mind.
And
and
that's the main thing. So before I ask the question, what made you move to America? Let's get on to the other albums and EP releases. There's Misanthropic. Is that how you say it? Misanthropic.
Yeah.
1997. And then after that, you did an album happily titled Death Metal.
Mm-hmm.
Has that got something to do with Possessed?
Well,
because they got a song called Death Metal, and
we took it one. I was thinking one day, like, well, they have a song called Death Metal, but we are one of the original Swedish death metal bands, so we are allowed to use that as title. And it was kind of also like a kind of a counter statement to the black metal scene, and that people were kind of like fed up with death metal in '96 when we recorded the album, and people were kind of like, "Whoa, death metal's not interesting anymore. Everything was supposed to be black metal. Everybody was wearing corpse paint and all that." So we were like, "Well, we're gonna stick to our guns. So fuck you all." And this album is called Death Metal.
Yeah, because obviously death metal started taking a bit of a downward slope, so to speak, and black metal was just, it's like, here's death metal, black metal.
Yeah,
that's what was happening during that time. And all of a sudden it was like, maybe these bands should play together, do some tours. Which they ended up doing, because Marduk did a tour with Cannibal Corpse back in like 97, 98, whatever. So all of a sudden it was like, they're both extreme bands, just different genres. They must share at least some of the same fans.
Yeah.
Why not put them together on a tour? So black and death metal bands have been playing together ever since, I guess.
Yeah, it was just in the mid '90s where everything was like, but I guess that's kind of how it was for the thrash and the death metal too. Like, a lot of people shunned the thrash bands when death metal started to grow. I'm sure that a lot of the thrash bands that were doing pretty good that weren't huge, but were doing pretty good in the early '90s, suddenly saw their music and albums a little bit, shunned because of the death metal scene that exploded. So I guess it's just evolution, and sometimes that happens. But as long as you stick to your guns and you keep on doing what you're good at, I think you're it's gonna swing back.
Yeah, because Cannibal Corpse kept doing death metal, even though black metal was on its surgence. They still kept doing it. You guys still kept doing it.
Great. There's so many bands out there who who didn't give up
Mortis doing their own
kept
thing.
grinding. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Napalm Death was still doing their thing. Didn't let them stop him in any way.
Yeah, but the best example is the band Motorhead. I mean, come on. They started in the late 70s, and
nothing could stop them.
Nothing stopped them, and
Nothing
they
stopped
were.
them
I mean, they were doing not that good in the beginning, and then they had a really, they blew up kind of, and then they had many stretches of like.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They were doing all right, and they got by and everything, but it's not like they. I mean, it's not like they. They weren't like on the top of the bills of the Monsters of Rock, festival shows or anything, but they had that core audience and the core following because they did not change their style. I think that's
they always kept it.
Yeah,
the
they
same.
kept it real.
And obviously they were still doing their thing while thrash metal was becoming a thing, and then death metal was coming out, and then black metal was coming out. They were just like, "Nah, we're still going to do this," and they were still popular then.
Yeah.
And may they rest in peace, Lemmy, Eddie, Fast Eddie, and Phil Animal as well.
Yeah.
Who were all on like Overkill, Ace of Spades, and those albums. Which, just talking about musicians we've lost. Well, we lost Rich from the band Fleshgrind very recently.
Oh yeah,
he passed away.
Yeah, I saw that. That sucks.
It sucked. I was just like, well, you can't escape it. But there you go. It just sucks. Yeah. If we lose any more musicians, I'm just gonna be like, that is it. This is just taking the piss.
Yeah, I know.
It's rubbish, but. Remember the good times you had with them. If you've met them before or not, I don't know. But always remember the good times. And if you're in a down place, play some music, you'll be okay.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I play metal, because it gets me out of shit places.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of metal and your final releases, you had Hate Campaign from 2000. Literally the start of the millennium. Fucking hell, I can't say it. Millennium. I don't know where the name Hate Campaign came from. It must have been something around that time you guys were pissed off at.
Yeah, a little bit. Matti came up with that title. He usually comes up with most of our album titles, and it was just like, we did the campaign for Musical Destruction in 1992 with Napalm Death and Obituary, and we always thought that was it was a pretty good name for a tour, and he always thought that, well, Hate Campaign would be a great name for an album, so that's when we used it.
Yeah, it's a great title. I like the name Death Metal as well. I forgot how long did it take to record Death Metal and then Hate Campaign?
Death Metal, I think I would say both albums took a month, including mix.
Because you would have been on like tours and doing shows and whatnot. Yeah. And you said you did that show with Napalm Death and Obituary in '92. Because I've seen photos from that. How did that go?
Great. Like all the people in those bands and the crews that we had and everything, it was great. I mean, it was a long tour. We did like 10 months on the road in Europe.
Wow.
The whole summer. Or 10 months, 10 weeks. I mean,
that's brilliant.
Yeah. So, the whole summer of '92, we were on the roads in Europe.
And you carry on, Frizzy, if you had something to say.
No. It's we played almost every day for 10 weeks, and
that's brilliant. On the road with people that you started listening to whenever.
Yeah.
You grew up listening to, and that was great. And you also did a Christmas gig with Cannibal Corpse, Death, Pestilence, and Napalm Death.
Yeah.
A Christmas show, which I thought, what the hell is that?
Yeah, that was a good Christmas tour. That was a pretty short one, but it was sweet.
Christmas Day of 1991, I was just like, I was only born in November.
Yeah.
How did I miss this?
No, that was great. Chuck was a really nice dude.
What the hell? because Bob Rousseau mentioned it in an interview when he was still in Cannibal Corpse. He was always the crazy one on stage in Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
Headbanging on, you would have, obviously he is.
Yeah.
He was saying, "Oh yeah, we did the Christmas show, man, with Napalm Death, man, fucking killer, man." I was like,
"Yeah,
obviously." He's like, "But you forgot other bands. You forgot other bands, man. Dismember, Pestilence.
Yeah.
Pestilence. Come on, don't forget Pestilence. Great Dutch death metal
and Death. I mean,
and
Death.
Let's not forget Death. Chuck Schuldiner, may he rest in peace. He's been dead for coming on 20 years.
Yeah.
And the last few albums I want to talk about before we talk about what made you move from one country to another and where people can find merch and whatnot. The last ones, and how long did these take to record? Jesus Christ, I can't even talk. Where the Iron Crosses Grow, The God That Never Was, and your last album, Dismember.
Well, I think probably like 4 to 6 weeks each, I would say. Something like that.
Yeah, because you haven't done an album since your last one, which is self-titled.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys got anything planned or not really?
We've been talking about it, but nothing is planned right now.
No, because it would be great to have some new Dismember music.
Yeah, no, that would be fun. But since everything got stopped short here because of the pandemic, because we were planning on doing shows for like 1 to 2 years, so that we had played everywhere where we wanted to play, and then we were gonna take a sit down and like a discussion about are we gonna do new music or not. We never got to that point. So
well, whenever it happens, be sure you're going to get a lot of happy fans.
I hope so. But I mean, we all got music. We've been talking back and forth during this last year here, and I mean, definitely. Everybody has material, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. As long as you got
material to start something new, then great.
Yeah.
But let's wait for this pandemic to end first, and then you guys can then meet up and maybe start rehearsing some new stuff. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit problematic to travel.
Yeah.
Right now, so
pretty shit. And also, I was going to mention the documentary that you guys did as well. Is it Live Blasphemy? Or was that the live DVD?
Yeah, that was a live DVD.
And you did a documentary as well.
Yeah, it was like some interview and some behind the scenes takeouts, I guess. But after I quit the band, they did another live DVD called Under Blood Red Skies, which is really good.
I'll have to check that out.
With one live show and then a lot of interviews and outtakes of a lot of fun, like touring material.
Yeah, no, that's great. I need to watch that as well because I thought I mentioned the documentaries. I think it's called it's like Dismembered, Death by Metal. I don't know. No, Death by Metal is the Death documentary. Sorry, but something like that. I can't remember what was exactly called.
Yeah,
but I can't remember. It'll come to me later on. I'll just be like, now I remembered. But I just noticed there's a Judas Priest poster behind you.
Oh yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, one of my
ages ago. I noticed it ages ago, but I thought I'll wait later. And there's a guitar.
Oh yeah, I got my guitar on the wall. It's
you don't play it, I guess.
I do, yeah.
Oh, you do. Oh, I thought it's just you got a guitar, you just stick it up on the wall and it never gets played.
Oh no, it hangs there for just so it's easy to reach for.
It's like, right, time to play guitar.
Yeah, no, I actually was that like 2 months ago I did musical project. I have a cousin who's she's a really talented photographer, and she's also a midwife, and she's documentary photographer and filmer about against female mutilation.
Ooh.
She's been speaking at the United Nations and stuff like that. And me and her, we made a project called Birth Metal. So I wrote the music for a song, and she's gonna put animated pictures to it. So that's going to be an interesting art. It's like an art project. So
that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I wrote the music and I played everything myself. And I haven't seen the video yet, but she's working on it. I think she's almost done. So that's going to be interesting.
That would be great to see, actually.
Yeah,
because I like some interesting things like that. So yeah, see what your cousin comes out with, the finished product. Yeah, I mean, that'd be great.
No, she's really talented, and she's very she has a very interesting perspective to when it comes to art and the human body and the human mind. So cool. I'm looking forward to see the result of that.
Oh, that'd be great to see. And I had to get onto this question because you're from Sweden, as we all know. Duh, what am I saying?
Yeah.
But what made you move from Sweden to New York?
I was over here doing sound for a tour for a Swedish band. It was actually Nick Anderson's band, Imperial State Electric. We were doing a short tour here, and I was doing sound for them. And I met a woman here who I instantly connected with, and I started going here to visit her. And eventually we decided that, this is gonna get real. So either I move here or she moves to Sweden. And she had my job was a little bit more flexible since I'm in the music industry. It's easier to move across the Atlantic and find work than it would be for her to find work in Sweden and learning Swedish and all that. So I moved here and started working over here, and it's been great. I love it here.
That's cool because you've been married since 2016, is it?
Yep.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Definitely. Because I just thought, wait, he's from Sweden, but he lives in America. I must find out why.
Yeah.
Job.
I mean, Richard, he lives down in Texas too, and I mean, he moved here in 2004 or 5. So both me and him live over here in the States, and we both love it.
So yeah, you and Richard both. He lives in Texas. You live in New York, and the others are still in Sweden.
Yeah,
obviously
makes things a little bit complicated when we're playing shows and all that. But
because I was a bit worried
since we know about it, at least we can plan for it.
Yeah, because I was a bit worried about the Scandinavian Death Fest set. So I was like, how's that going to work? Because 2 of them live in the States.
Yeah.
While the others still live in Sweden. And I'm thinking, is there somewhere they meet in between? Or
Nah. I mean, it's always easier to go to Sweden to do everything. But, so we'll see what we do when it comes to... Oh, nice. You got that one.
The T-shirt.
Nice.
And on the back... Whoever missed these guys played in 2019 might have to wait a little bit longer, but still, as the dates you played, the 12th and the 13th.
Yeah.
Which absolutely fantastic. Just seeing Swedish bands in Sweden with a hometown crowd was just, I was like, this is amazing.
It was fun. That was a lot of fun. It was,
and I was in there, and that's where I put my T-shirts. And obviously, it was my first time in Sweden, experiencing your country, birth country. You now live, but I've been to New York. I know what it's like, but I loved the festival. I loved the venues where they were holding Scandinavia Death Fest. Because it was the Kraken and whatever the other one was called. I can't remember what it's called.
Slaktkyrkan, yeah. The Slaughter Church.
It's Slaughter Church. I'm just calling it that.
Yeah.
And because they had Yeah, Bird Flesh, General Surgery, Rotten Sound.
Hmm.
Lick played on the Sunday because
Yep.
another band was meant to play, but they pulled out.
Yeah.
And then Lick because I actually know one of the members, Nikos.
Mhm.
I know him because we've been chatting back and forth.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, they're great guys.
yeah, I
We
filmed them
yeah,
in
you know,
Leeds.
we they let us use the rehearsal space for our preparations.
Oh,
So
that's
they're
cool.
good friends of ours.
Yeah, that's cool. Looking out for each other.
Yeah.
You got that bond, all you guys.
Yeah. I've known the drummer Chris since like the late '90s. Really good guy.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because like I said, because I filmed Lick at Damnation Fest in 2018. It's a festival we have in Leeds,
Hmm.
and they were playing on not the main stage, the smaller stage, like downstairs. It's in their university in Leeds,
Okay.
and they hold it like every year. They didn't hold it last year for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah.
And I filmed them, and I got a message from Nikos. I think it was Nikos, and he said, "Do you mind sending that footage over?" Why not? Sent it over, and he shared it.
Nice.
And it's on my YouTube channel as well. Because I thought, oh, Swedish death metal. Let's film this. Because I wasn't going to get in the pit. I only pit when it's like I want to. But I thought, seen Dismember. If I get knocked out, I might not remember anything. I just stayed at the side drinking beer and headbanging.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm still enjoying your set. I was doing that with Benediction when they played.
Yeah.
Interment, Room Bath, Unanimated.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the Swedish bands that were there. Don't have the set list. The t-shirts probably buried again because everything gets buried in this room.
Yeah. I hear you.
And t-shirts, too many t-shirts. And well, when Skull Fucked, which is a band from Stevenage here in the UK.
Oh yeah.
You know, very cool. Like flat caps and shit. Because I think one of your members, don't know which one it might have been in Dismember, always wore a flat cap. Was it? It wasn't Rich, was it?
Flat cap.
Yeah, it's like a sort of like a.
Oh, like the.
Oh, he's wearing a
suicidal tendencies.
bandana, and he was kind of dressing up like one of the members from Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah, David. Yeah, that was David. Yeah.
I thought. Okay, he looks like he's in a crossover thrash metal band. That's what I was thinking when I was looking at him.
So, I mean, we all, most of us, or at least me and David, we had a lot of, in the early days, we were into suicidal tendencies, and he's always been, I lost him a little bit, but, it's like I've always really liked them. And I've seen him a lot lately when I've been out on tour with other bands, when I've been doing sound and so on for other bands, and I've crossed paths with suicidal tendencies, and they always put on a really good show.
I got to see him one time at Bloodstock. They were fantastic. Couldn't get in the tent though when they were playing. They were playing the tent at Bloodstock. It was rammed, so I couldn't get in. But I could watch them from outside, and it was just looked insane.
Yeah.
And they got Dave Lombardo from Slayer.
Oh yeah. Drums. I never saw them with Dave, but.
And they also had Robert Trujillo from Metallica for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So from Suicidal Tendencies to Ozzy Osbourne to Metallica, he's had quite a career.
That's quite a career, yeah.
That's quite a career there.
Yeah.
And because you mentioned your job, music, sound engineering, how long have you been doing that for?
I started doing like studio recordings. I started working at Sunlight Studios when was that? The summer of '94.
Oh, cool.
So, and then in, I think around 1998, that's when I started, trying to do live sound, which is a totally different thing from doing sound in a recording studio. So it was a good leap. It's a completely different thing, but I started doing it sporadically, and from the like late or like mid 2000s up until today, I've been doing it as a full-time job.
That's cool. You said you worked at Sunlight. Did you produce any albums when you were there, or just
Yeah, the first real album that I was involved in at the Sunlight Studio was At the Gates, With Fear I Kiss the Burning Darkness.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, come on, that's a pretty good first time
Oh,
experience.
definitely. It's also a very, very good album.
Real good album,
Really good
great
album.
musicians, and friends of mine. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
that's a great album. I love that album. I pretty much got all their stuff. I think I got one more to get, but that's it.
yeah,
And
great people, great musicians, great
yeah,
albums.
yeah, and then working at a famous recording studio as well, where your band's recorded,
Yeah,
obviously, and then
yeah, I mean,
Tune and Grave and Unleashed and all those bands, not just
yeah,
Swedish bands, but Dark Throne with Soulside Journey that I mentioned in the first part,
yeah.
and Amorphis recorded their first two albums there, the Carillion Isthmus and Tales from the Thousand Lakes,
Hmm.
and then they recorded Energy somewhere else, I think it was.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was involved in not the Tales from the Thousand Lakes. That was before I started working there, but I think the next one they did, I was involved a little bit in that one. They also great people, the Amorphous guys. We've toured with them, and they've been recording in Sunlight, and really nice people.
Yeah, I haven't met any of them in person, but I've seen them live. They played Bristol like
Mhm.
2014, I want to say, about that time, and they played a lot of the stuff they released after they got like a new singer and everything. They played one song from Tales, but mainly like the stuff after, like post Tales from the Thousand Lakes. Now, speaking of bands and merch and stuff like that, I know I can get Dismember merch from like well, I got that vinyl from UKM Records, but if we wanted to buy them somewhere else, would they be able to buy them from the Dismember website, or
So
how
this is
many?
the deal. The deal right now is that none of our albums are available, not in physical form, not in digital form. And the reason for that is that we own the rights to our own music, which is great. But the thing is that when you release it and then you license it to a label who release the albums, unless you do it yourself, which we don't really have time to do since we're all working. But we've had different licenses, and then when the license is up, you get the rights back, and then you shop for a new license deal with either the same label or a new label. And in 2005 up until 2010, we had a license deal with a label called Regain Records in Sweden, and they ceased to exist in 2010. But the problem is that we still haven't got the material back from them, and this is 11 years ago. So what we had to do, and this takes a while to do, because since you're not the label yourself, you're only the band, and I do all this work for the band. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not I can't just call iTunes and say like, hey, I'm the drummer from Dismember and I'm the manager. You have to take all the music down from the platforms because the license deal has expired 11 years ago or 10 years ago or 8 years ago. You can't just do that because they need some kind of proof, and it's a big operation. So what we did is that we're going to reissue all our stuff through Nuclear Blast Records again. So we're going to do a new licensing deal that I'm working on right now. It's almost done. We will reissue all the old albums through Nuclear Blast Records worldwide.
Cool.
And it's going to be great. And it's going to be
Amazing.
out there. And soon we're going to get the music back on all the digital platforms and all that. It's just a couple of small things we have to go through before we do that. and then it's going to be available everywhere, even in the web shop, But in the meantime, shirts and other merch you can get through our website, which you can find on dismember.se or Facebook, Dismember Official, or Instagram.
Well, you heard it here, folks. You can't find the CDs. I mean, you could if you go on Discogs, but they'll probably go for a lot of money.
Yeah, if you be patient, because don't spend your money on. I think it's. I mean, I get it. If you're impatient, I understand. It's been taking a while, but this is bureaucracy at its worst, and it's also, the ball is in my court right now, so there is a few things that has to be cleared up, and then we're gonna start getting everything out. So,
well, just wait, people. They'll have their albums out again, and then you can get them. Then,
Yep.
Whenever
we're gonna have box sets, and we're gonna have a lot of special stuff with that too.
Then wait for the box sets or final editions or whatever you're gonna release. But I mean, I got the T-shirt, I got the patch, which is on my jacket I showed last time.
Yeah.
I got a mate who's from another Bristol-based band called Body Harvest, and on his jacket, he's got like an Everflowing Stream back patch.
Oh, nice.
Because a lot of us are fans of Dismember, of course, and I got a mate who was also at Scandinavia Death Fest, who's just big on Swedish death metal. There you go. And
nice.
Yeah, definitely not. And I hope that when this is over, you can get back to doing your job again, because it must be killing you not being able to work.
It's horrible right now. Can't work, can't do anything within this line of profession. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously got to be patient and whatnot, but
yeah,
don't know how long it will be, but hopefully you can get back there soon and start doing sound for bands. And
they're opening up big arenas today over here. Like if 5,000 cap arenas or more are able to open at, if it's indoor, it's at 10% capacity. If it's up, no, it's 10% capacity, and outdoors is 15% capacity. So the vaccination process has sped up here a bit. So hopefully this year we could start traveling again.
Yeah, it started speeding up here a bit as well. So hopefully.
I think it's the European Union that seems like they're a little bit still behind, which is...
we don't need to talk about.
No, let's just hope that they can speed it up too, because I mean,
the vaccine process. Yeah, I hope that speeds up.
Yeah,
and hopefully the bands can still go and tour everywhere, and that's the big worry here in the UK. We're not going to see very many of them coming here.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to get to, but because we've had stuff going on here, but enough about that. But let's just hope everyone's vaccine process speeds up.
Yep.
So we can all get the vaccine and be safe and go to gigs again, go to festivals again, and meet people. Yeah,
exactly.
Meet up with people again that you haven't seen in like a good couple of months or whatever.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed, I get fingers crossed. But that's all we can really say about that issue. And on that note, I want to thank you for taking part in Jake's Metal Chat.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, 2 parts, but doesn't matter. There's a lot to talk about. This would have been like a 4-hour, 5-hour chat, probably.
Yeah.
It would have been like
easy.
3 o'clock in the morning here for me, and whatever time for you there, and I'll just be like, I should be in bed.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's good for me. Stopped it at the time we did on the 27th of February.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's March.
Yep,
1st of March. St. David's Day here still.
Oh, yeah, all right.
And if you ever want to do another one of these chats and you're up to the task, you're welcome to come back.
Absolutely, I would love to.
and hopefully bring the rest of the band on here.
Oh yeah.
That'd be great. long chat. Okay, my throat's getting a bit sore again. Sorry about that. Get the whole band on here, and I'll just hear you, all you guys, just talking about this.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Well, let's just see how it goes first. They might be busy doing their own thing.
We'll see.
Let's just see if they're up for it. If they're not, no worries. There's no pressure to come on here. And again, on that note, thank you again, Fred, for taking part. Very much appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Very much appreciate it.
Let's stay in touch. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yeah, we'll stay in touch. He's been Fred of Dismember. I've been Jake, your host of Jake's Metal Chat. For all those out there, thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, sharing them around. You don't have to, but it helps me out so I don't go completely insane and have nothing to do here. So, take care of yourselves. Keep in contact with your friends and family, and hopefully we'll get through this. Take care of yourselves.